Let me go to Carlton's questions, because now you have me interested in hearing what he has to say.
Okay.
Well, it's a little bit passed over now, but I was wondering, when you're doing your art, do you like to go to a certain place, or do you go to different places? And if so, how does that actually influence what you have on the painting?
When I do, most of my artwork is just in my mind. I don't literally go any place, and yet I do go someplace. I go to an imaginary world that's in my heart and in my soul, and I touch upon this heavenly feeling, and I paint the feeling. I paint this beautiful presence that I'm feeling. And it isn't just in my imagination, because as I paint, it envelops me, right? Right while I'm painting, I feel it. It's like I'm in this sweet place of tranquility and this sense of harmony and this sense of love. And I just want to bring that love and harmony into the painting. And somehow it works with me and I work with it, and we kind of come together. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. I think Jasmine has a question now.
Yeah. Okay.
How did you get started on your painting and your writing, actually?
Say that again. What was that?
How did you get started on your...
how did I get started? Gosh. Well, it was one of those funny things where everybody kept saying, you're a writer. You write so well. Because I used to love to write letters to this teacher that I'm telling you about, this William Samuel. And back in the old days, we wrote, letters where you'd put it in an envelope and send it off. And I used to write to him, and he is one of his techniques of teaching was what he called journal tending. So it was to write from it's kind of like the highest place you could find, to write from this highest light of your being, and then put that into your writing and see what happens. And so I would write him letters, and then as I wrote, other people would read what I wrote. Somehow, I don't know how it got out there. And then I guess maybe as computers came along, my writing kind of got out there. And everybody kept telling me I was a great writer. So I started to believe them. And then the same with the painting. It was kind of like... people would come into my home and just go, oh, my gosh, are you an artist? Or, maybe the way I dress, the way I am. And people would say, you must be an artist. And I'd go, you know what? I must be an artist. So it was kind of other people sort of telling me, and then me saying, well, I'm going to try it. I'm going to see if I am. And I just kind of leaped in and gave it a try. And it was kind of a miracle, because these paintings started appearing, and I'm just like, I look at them and I go, where do those come from? And I, like people will say, oh, your artwork is so wonderful. And I look at it and I go, it is. Because it's not me saying that. It's like me looking at it going, I don't know where it comes from, but I love it. It's so much fun to do. It's like I'm almost like a conduit, or, it flows through and out. And I just go, and that's the same with my writing. It just kind of flows through and out. And, I don't stand in the way, I guess, is what happens there, and which is a beautiful gift, because I've learned how to live my life that way, where I'm not standing in the way. I'm sort of, life is flowing through me, and that's what happens even, like, let's say, with these people wanting me to talk, and speaking and teaching, and I go, well, I'm not a teacher, and yet the teaching is that I'm not a teacher, but the teaching is coming through me. Something about love and wholeness and beauty comes through. So I'll just let it, and that's sort of how it always keeps happening. The more I get out of the way, the more things come, I would say,
I enjoyed it so much listening to you. I actually pulled up something that you illustrated for a little larger.
Oh, yes, you love that. Yeah, isn't that great?
Well, we're going to have to go to a break, and we will be back after this.
Welcome back to the American Dream, now Beyond the Barriers, with Jasmine Grantham and Stanley L.
Whether you're raising a family, advancing a career, building a business on a mission from God, victory lies beyond the barriers.
We cannot judge this moment based on the last. We can acknowledge the pattern of activity that we experience while relying upon the action of universal law. This law, which governs all activity throughout infinity, says that we are responsible for our actions, whether they are conscious or unconscious, constructive or destructive, of the human or of the divine. Realize that you are experiencing today, this moment, the manifestations of your actions of the past. These actions are patterns that have become a substance in the atmosphere around you. Ultimately, there is a manifestation in your life's experience of the repeated activities of the life energy that you allow to go forth. The manifestation of life, what we experience in the outer world, or the result of our attention upon activities that receives our life's energy. This energy is qualified by our feelings. Your feeling is your powerhouse of certain manifestation. It is the feeling that you express that gives an activity or manifestation its quality. Feelings are constantly being poured forth into the atmosphere. The quality of the feeling you express is acted upon by you.
I am the strength, the courage, the power to move forward steadily through all experiences, whatever they may be, and remain joyous and uplifted, filled with peace and harmony at all times, by the glorious presence which I am.
The American Dream. Reality on Rowan Radio, 89.7 WGLS FM, with host Stanley L.
I believe of the United States of America as a government of the people, by the people, for the people, whose just powers are derived from the consent of the governed, a democracy in a republic, a sovereign nation of many sovereign states, a perfect union, one and inseparable, established upon those principles of freedom, equality, justice, and humanity, for which American patriots sacrificed their lives and fortunes. I therefore believe it is my duty to my country to love it, to support its Constitution, to obey its laws, to respect its flag, and to defend it against all enemies, everywhere, forever.
The second principle of the Constitution states, a free people cannot survive under a Republican Constitution unless they remain virtuous and morally strong.
And that concludes the American Dream. I'd like to thank you, our listeners, for sharing your time and attention. I'd like to thank our wonderful guest, Sandy Jones. Sandy, any final words for us?
Oh, I just so enjoyed having you call me, and I hope everybody finds William Samuel's books and my websites, and that, this has been just so joyful, and I thank you all.
Well, you have to give us that website again and phone number or something, email.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's woodsongjournalnotes.com, and it's also at williamsamuel.com, and you'll find his books listed there, and you'll find my writing on Woodsong Journals, and yes, I'm available. You know, if anybody needs me or wants me, you can find me through my website. So, yeah, it'd be great.
Now, is your store also on one of those websites? Because we didn't talk about it.
Oh, it is. That's right. The store. I also run and own a store. Yes, it's called celestialsong.com. Celestial Song, like the music, celestial, heavenly. Yeah, go check that one out, too. I've got, and I'm in Ojai, California, so if anybody wants to come by my store, I would love to see anybody who walks in, yeah.
Great.
So thank you, Stan. That's very generous of you.
Oh, yeah, well, we'll be talking again. We'll get you back on.
All right, yeah. Thank you very much.
Also, I want to thank Dale for doing another fantastic job, Carlton and Jasmine for, holding up to the whole thing here, you know.
Yeah.
And also everybody out there in Radio Land and sunny California. It's a little wet right now. Enjoy that wetness.
Yes, we will. All right.
And we're going to pass it over to Carlton to wrap it up.
All right. You've been listening to The American Dream on Rowan Radio, 89.7 WGLS FM. Merry Christmas and just a general happy holidays.
Just a dream.